Hello children and viewers. So please watch my channel and subscribe my channel, like my channel. So today my topic is relation between the focal length and radius of curvature. So that we are going to derive the relation between the focal length and radius of curvature. After that we are going to learn sign convention in mirrors. So to derive the relation between focal length and radius of curvature, so I am taking a concave mirror. So let us imagine it is a concave mirror. So now to find the relation between focal length and radius of curvature, I am taking a incident ray, so that is parallel to principal axis. So this is the incident ray coming from infinity object. So now this is the incident ray after reaching this concave mirror and which is parallel to principal axis. Incident here, that point is considered A. So according to rules, if the incident ray is parallel to principal axis, after reflection it passes through. After reflection, how it will be? It is passes through focus. It will be passes through the focus. This is a reflected ray, this is the incident ray. So after that, I am drawing a normal for this concave surface, concave mirror. So at point A. So how I can draw the normal for this concave mirror at point A? Simple, by joining the point of incidence and center of curvature. So now this is the normal. This is the normal for this concave mirror at point A. Now already you know that the angle between the normal and incident ray will be known as angle of incidence. That is what? Theta. So here high is what? Theta. This is the angle of incidence, that is how much? Theta. Now according to first law of reflection, so what is the angle of incidence? This is a reflected ray. The reflected ray is also written with the same angle of incidence with the normal. So now this is called angle of reflection. So this is also how much? This is also theta. This is also theta. Now when you observe this line, so this is the line. So now there is an angle and this is the angle. These two lines are parallel, and these parallel lines are these parallel lines are what? Intersecting by another ray or another line. So that's why these two are called internal alternative angles. These two are called internal alternating angles. So already you learned in the geometry. So now this is the incident ray and this is the principal axis. Now consider on the principal axis this is a C and this is a F. Now this is a point of incidence A. Now this is a normal. Now these two angles are called interior alternative angles. So in every case the interior alternative angles are same. Until now this is theta. What about this? This is also theta. Now this angle is how much? Theta. Now the reflected ray is going like this. The reflected ray is passing through focus. Now when you observe this triangle, what is this triangle? Triangle AFC. AFC. So now this is the incident angle, this is also angle of reflection, this is also theta. These two are called interior angles and this angle is called exterior angle. Exterior. So that's why in every triangle the exterior angle is equal to sum of the internal angles. So that's why here this is how much? 2 theta. This is the exterior angle. So every exterior angle is equal to sum of the internal angles. So theta plus theta equal to 2 theta. So here is also these two are internal angles. So that's why this is called exterior angle. This is how much? 2 theta. So after that I am drawing a normal or perpendicular line to the principal axis from point of incidence. Sorry. So I am drawing a normal or a vertical line. So from point of incidence to principal axis. So this is a vertical line or normal. So now consider it is intersecting at a point P dash. So P dash. So now there are two right angle triangles are formed because of this drawing. So now what are they? One is A P dash F. A P dash F. This is the first right angle triangle. And second right angle triangle is A P dash C. This is second right angle triangle. So how many right angle triangles are there? First triangle. What is the first triangle? A P dash F. A P dash F. This is the first right angle triangle. And now come to the second one. A P dash C. Next triangle is the triangle A P dash C. Now come to the some fundamentals of mathematics in the trigonometry. So in every right angle triangle, so there is a hypotenuse is there and two sides are there. For example, if I am taking angle theta here. Now consider this is a triangle A B C. Now this AB is the longest side of the right angle triangle. That's why according to Pythagoras theorem, this is known as the hypotenuse, and this BC is called side and this AC is also side. But for this theta, this is called adjacent side. Adjacent side. And for this theta, this is called the opposite side. And this is called the hypotenuse. But in trigonometry, so we use generally there are some formulas are there: sin theta, cos theta, tan theta. So that's why I am taking the tan theta. I am using tan theta here. Tan theta is nothing but it is a ratio of opposite side to adjacent side. Opposite side to adjacent side. So that will be gives a tan theta value. Tan theta value. Now I am taking the same tan theta here. So in triangle A P dash F. So there is a theta. For this theta, opposite side is A P dash and adjacent side is P dash F, and now it become hypotenuse. AF is hypotenuse, A P dash is opposite side, P dash F is the adjacent side. So that's why in this triangle, what triangle? A P dash F. This is the smallest right angle triangle in this figure. That's why in that figure I am taking tan 2 theta. Tan 2 theta, nothing but tan theta. Like tan theta. So that's why what is the formula of tan theta? Opposite side by adjacent side. So now what is the opposite side for this 2 theta? A P dash by what is the adjacent side? P dash F. P dash F. And next in the same way, come to the triangle A P dash C. A P dash C. In this triangle is also theta is there. This is the A P dash C. This is the triangle. Is it right angle triangle or not? Yes. So in this I am taking what is here? Angle theta. So tan theta. What is the tan theta? Definition: it is a ratio of opposite side to adjacent side. What is opposite side? A P dash. By what is adjacent side? P dash C. P dash C. Now, so this is the incident ray. This is very nearer to principal axis. That's why these rays are called paraxial rays. So now when this incident ray approaches to this principal axis, what happened? This theta becomes small. This theta also makes into the lesser angles. So now that can be explained like this. So now consider this is a curved surface. This is P, F and C. Now consider this is an incident ray. It is incident A, point A. Now I draw the normal for the principal axis. Now this is the P dash. Now when this incident ray approaches to this one, what is happened? This is the normal, this is the theta. So what happened when I bring this incident ray here? So what is happening? This is the point of incidence come to here, and now this P dash will be from this place to this place it will be moves. And when this incident rays approaches to principal axis, so now this angle is also decreases. Now in case of the such rays are called paraxial rays. The rays are very nearer to principal axis called paraxial rays. So in the case of the paraxial rays, what is happening? So now the theta is also decreases. When theta is decreases, this p dash is also approaches to p. That's why in case of the paraxial rays, so the tan 2 theta can be taken as 2 theta, tan theta can be taken as theta, and p dash f can be taken as pf, and p dash c can be taken as pc. Are you getting or not? So in case of the paraxial rays, what is happening? So in case of the paraxial rays, this p dash is approaches to what? P. Nothing but p dash is same as p. When p dash is same as p, what is the distance between the p dash and f is the same as the pf, and what is the distance between the p dash and c is also same as the pc. And as well as this theta is also decreases, and the theta is going to very small, so that's why the tan 2 theta can be taken as 2 theta, the tan theta can be taken as theta. So this is only in case of the paraxial rays. So that's why here I am taking the paraxial rays. So in case of paraxial rays, what is happening? In case of paraxial means the rays which are nearer to principal axis. In case of the paraxial rays, what is happening? So this p dash is nothing but equal to p. That's why the distance between the p dash and f is same as the poline focus. The distance between the p dash and center of curvature will be same as the poline center of curvature. But previously the terms related to spherical mirrors, what we learn? The distance between poline focus, the distance between the poline focus will be called as what? Focal length. The distance between the poline center of curvature is known as what? Radius of curvature. So that's why the distance between poline focus will be known as focal length. The distance between the poline center of curvature is known as what? Radius of curvature. So now come to this triangle. So when theta is small, this tan theta can be taken as 2 theta equal to a p dash by what is p dash f? P dash f is nothing but pf, pf is nothing but focal length. Now consider this equation 1. Here is also when theta is small, so this tan theta can be taken as theta equal to a p dash by p dash c. P dash is nothing but the distance between pole and center of curvature, that is nothing but radius of curvature. Now consider this equation 2. So from equation 1 and 2, when equation 1 is divided with equation 2, so what we get? So 2 theta by theta on left hand side. On right hand side, a p dash by f, a p dash by f divided by, on right hand side what is there? A p dash by r. So a p dash will be cancelled. In numerator, denominator will be there. Come to the denominator. In denominator is there. That will be go to the numerator. So that's why theta is also cancelled. 2 by 1 equal to r by f. So from this one, when we do the cross product, what we get? R equal to 2f. So this is the relation between the radius of curvature and focal length. And nothing but the radius of curvature is always double of the focal length. That's why in previous class what I said, the distance between the pole and focus must be the same as the distance between the focus and center of curvature. And if this is f, this is also f. That is nothing but r. R, focal length is half of the radius of curvature. Half of the radius of curvature. Radius of curvature will be the double of the focal length, or the focal length is half of the radius of curvature. This is the relation between the focal length and radius of curvature. So remember this formula, very important. Now come to the sign convention followed in mirrors. Which type of mirrors? Spherical mirrors. So what is convention? What is convention? For example, so when we are walking on the road, we follow the convention. Which convention? We have to always walk in which side? Left side. So that is a convention when we are followed on the, when we are walking on the what? Road. In the same way, so when we are discussing about the spherical mirrors, so in this case also we get some distances: focal length, radius of curvature, object distance, image distance, height of the object, height of the image. So these are the distance we have to measure. From where we have to measure? We have to take some reference. And when we are measuring the distances, sometimes we may move in the direction of incident light, or sometimes we may move opposite to the direction of incident light. Sometimes if the heights are measured above the principal axis, sometimes the heights may be measured below the principal axis. So that's why we have to follow the sign convention. Sign convention. Sign convention in case of spherical mirrors. Spherical mirrors means that may be convex or concave. These are sign convention that can be used in the concave mirror as well as the convex mirror. So the first rule is all distance are measured from pole. The first rule is, or the first convention is, all distances are measured from pole of mirror. Pole of mirror. That mirror may be concave or convex. This is the first rule. First sign convention. And second one, so the distance is measured in in the direction of incident light. In the direction of incident light taken as positive. And next, the third one, the distance is measured opposite to the direction of incident light, taken as negative. Minus, positive means plus. And fourth one, heights above the principal axis. Taken as positive. And fifth one, heights below the principal axis. Below the principal axis taken as negative. So these are the 5 sign conventions followed in case of spherical mirrors. So all distance are measured from where? Pole of the mirror. This is very important. And now the pole of the mirror is taken as origin. All the distance are measured from only pole. Okay, you are measuring the distances. So now you are measuring the distance from pole. Sometimes you may be measuring. So the incident light may be come in your direction or opposite direction. That's why if your measurements are, if your distance are taken in the direction of incident light are positive, opposite direction are taken as negative. And sometimes the object may be above the principal axis and below the principal axis. The image is also above the principal axis and below the principal axis. That's why, so the height of the object and image, if the height of the object will be positive when above the principal axis. If the height of the object is below the principal axis, that can be taken as negative. So these can be understood by taking examples. For example, I am writing here this type. incident light taken as constant. So for better understanding of these rules, I am taking two examples. One is in case of concave and other in case of the convex. For example, consider, so this is a concave mirror. Now the object will be here. This is the object. The object height will be considered, this object AB, and height will be considered, height of the object is generally represented with the letter H0. So now this concave mirror can form the image of this object where by drawing the ray diagrams we can find. So now if we take the one ray top of the object parallel to principal axis, after reflection passes through focus, and another ray taken from top of the object passing through center of curvature, after incident it can returns. Now where the rays are really intersecting here, so that's why here which is formed image, the image will be considered I dash. So now AB is called height of the object H0, this is the image, so the image height will be considered H suffix I. Now so this is the pole and here is the object. Now this from pole to A, this distance is known as object distance, that is PA, is nothing but U is nothing but object distance. What is the meaning of object distance? The distance of the pole to object is known as object distance. Object distance is represented with letter U. So what is U here? What is U here? Object distance. So what is object distance here? P. And next the distance between the pole and image. This is the image. The distance from pole to image will be known as what? Image distance V. This is no nothing but image distance. V is nothing but image distance. So what is the image distance here? P to I. And already you know that the distance between pole and focus is known as what? Focal length. The distance between pole and center of curvature is known as what? Radius of curvature. So for this, how many variables are there here when the object is moving? When the object is moving along the principal axis, so what are changes? Height of the object, height of the object, height of the image, and next one object distance and image distance changes, but focal length and radius of curvature cannot be changes. When we are changing the object distance and height, this height of the object, height of the image, U, V will be changes, but F and R cannot be changes. But for this we have to use the sign convention. So what is the first rule? All the distances are measured from pole, and we have to take this pole as the origin. Now observe. So what is the incident direction? Now this is the incident direction, and then now from this object the incident light is coming in this direction, and this is the direction from right to left. The light is moving. So now when we measure the distance from pole of the mirror, for example, I am measuring the object distance U. Here is object. In which direction you are moving? In which direction you are started here? For example, this is U. You are started here and moving in this direction. Now where you are started? From pole. Okay, you are measuring the distance from pole. In which direction you are moving? You are move up to here. In which direction? This is the incident ray. So you are moving in the direction of incident ray or opposite? You are moving opposite. So that's why the distance measured opposite to the direction of incident light taken as negative. So that's why in this case, what is happening in this case? So the PA or U, nothing but minus. That's why you can written as minus U. So in this, what happened? The object distance is nothing but negative. And for example, if it is 20 centimeter, so now you have to write the minus 20 centimeter, not plus 20. Now, where is the image is formed? Here. So to measure this image distance, where you have to measure? From pole. Okay, from pole you are measuring, and you are to measure in this direction you are moving. In which direction you are moving? This is the incident ray direction. So forget about the reflected ray direction. Only you have to think only incident ray direction. To measure the distance from pole to image, in which direction you are moving? In this direction. But the incident ray is coming opposite. That's why V is also minus. And next come to the focal length. So this is the focus, this is the this is the focus, this is the pole. So what is the distance between the pole and focus? Focal length. But where you have to measure? Pole. So to measure the focal length, you have start from the pole and move up to the focus. This is nothing but focal length. But to measure in which direction you are moving, again opposite to the direction of incident ray. So that's why the focal length is minus. That's why the focal length of the concave mirror is always negative. Remember, this is a concave mirror. The focal length of the concave mirror is negative. And again, to measure the radius of curvature. What is the radius of curvature? The distance between pole and center of curvature. Now to measure this PC distance, you start from where? All the distance are measured from pole. So that's why when you are started from pole, and to measure the radius of curvature, you have to move up to C. But when we are moving from P to C, in which direction you are moving? In this direction, but the incident ray is coming opposite direction. So that's why the radius of curvature can be taken as what? Minus. So that's why the radius of curvature of concave mirror is also negative. So these two are important. Concave mirror focal length is negative. Concave mirror radius of curvature is also negative. And now come to the height. So this is the height of the object. To measure from where? From principal axis. The height above the principal axis. That's why this h0 become positive. And this image distance, to measure the image distance, in which direction you are moving? Below the principal axis. So that's why height below the principal axis is taken as negative. This is minus h. Are understood or not? So this is about the sign convention. And if I take the concave mirror, convex mirror. Convex mirror, I am taking the convex mirror. Next one. The height below the principal axis taken as. Next, convex mirror. Now consider this is a convex mirror. This is the pole, this is the focus. Now consider this is center of curvature. Now here is the object. So this AB is called object. What is the height of the object? Consider h0. And now the distance between pole and focus is nothing but focal length. This is f. And the distance between pole and center of curvature, this is known as radius of curvature r. Now where the image is formed for this object? So now I am taking a one ray that is parallel to principal axis. So after incidenting on this mirror, how it will be? According to rule, it will be appears to coming from focus. So that's why join the point of incidence and focus. After that extend. And next one, I am taking another ray that is coming in the direction of focus. Now this is the ray coming in the direction of focus. To check, join the point of incidence and focus with the dotted line. Okay, it is traveling in the direction of focus. So after reflection, what happened? It is parallel to principal axis. But these two rays are never intersect. That's why when they are extended back, what is happening? They are intersecting here at this point, which is formed image. This is considered I dash. This I dash is nothing but consider hi. So this is the height of the object. This is the height of the image. And now where is the object? Here. Object distance means the distance from pole. This is known as the pole. Pole to object will be known as object distance. Pole to object distance is known as object distance u. PA equal to u. And the distance from pole to image will be known as PI, can be taken as what? V. Now I am applying the sign convention for this mirror. First of all, I am calculating the object distance. For object distance I am applying. So all the distance are measured from where? When you measure the object distance, when you measure the image distance, when you measure the focal length, when you measure the radius of curvature, that must be measured from where? From pole. Okay. Now when you are measuring the object distance, where you have to move? Pole. So from pole to you are moving towards the object. Now this is known as object distance. But in which direction you are moving? In this direction. In which direction you are moving? So this is the incident rays direction. So that's why you are moving opposite to the incident ray. That's why this u can be taken as what? Minus u. Now come to the image distance. What is image distance? The distance between pole and image. This is the image. So to measure the distance between pole and image, from where you have to start? Pole. This is a pole. Okay. To measure the image distance, in which direction you are moving? In this direction. Now this time you are moving in this direction. But incident ray is also in this direction, same direction, and you are moving in the direction of incident light. So distance is measured in the direction of incident light taken as positive. Now this time it become plus. And if it is 30 centimeter, plus 30. If the object distance is 20, minus 20. Now come to the focal length. The focal length, the distance between pole and focus. And to measure the distance between pole and focus, in which direction? In this direction you are moving. So the incident ray is also in the same direction. That's why the focal length of the convex mirror can be taken as positive. This is the reason. Why the convex mirror focal length taken as positive? This is the reason. By following the sign convention. And next time, to measure the distance between pole and center of curvature, in which direction you are moving? This is the pole, this is the center of curvature. To measure, you are start from the pole and you are moving to pole to center of curvature. In which direction you are moving? You are moving in the direction of incident light. That's why this radius of curvature is also positive. So R is nothing but PC. F is nothing but PC. So that's why the focal length of the convex mirror, the radius of curvature of the convex mirror is positive. So the focal length of the concave mirror and radius of curvature of concave mirror is negative. So this is about the sign convention.